The race for the new National Director of Public Prosecutions is heating up. However, the Democratic Alliance is threatening to halt the interviews, or was threatening to halt the interviews, for the new National Director of Public Prosecutions. These interviews are pivotal in selecting the next head of the NPA. It's, of course, a crucial role in South Africa's fight against corruption and crime. 6 candidates were interviewed to succeed the National Director of Public Prosecutions, that Advocate Shamila Batohi. The advisory panel will submit its recommendations to the President after the interviews. We are joined now by legal analyst Advocate Emmanuel Netshipise. Advocate, thanks for your time. Good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much, Leanne, for having me and your viewers at home.
So, Advocate, how would you describe these last 2 days, the interview process? How did you think it goes? Is there anyone that jumped out for you that perhaps could be the next one?
Indeed, all of them considered. What we must accept is that they meet certain criteria stipulated by the National Prosecution Act. Number one, they are all South Africans. Number two, they all have legal qualification which entitles them to practice in any court in the country. Number three, they all have more than 10 years managerial or executive experience. Number four, which is going to be the determining factor, is that they must demonstrate that they are proper and fit persons and persons of integrity with regard to their experience. That is going to be the determining factor. And when I look into the interviews, the focus was mainly on establishing whether they are proper and fit with regard to their experiences, and that their experiences shows that they are persons of integrity. There's been a lot of challenges in respect of that put to the candidates by the 7 panel of interviewers to try to establish whether indeed they are proper and fit. And of course, at the end of the day, there were some of the elements which were established which might work against other candidates, and some stood firm to show that indeed they are proper and fit.
Who stood out for you?
Leanne?
Yeah, Advocate, who stood out for you? Who is the one that you sort of looked at and thought, I like the way he or she conducted themselves in the interview?
The first candidate stood out for me in that the first candidate was very clear in her answers. She was very honest in terms of what it takes or hold back prosecution. For example, she mentioned that what hold prosecution sometimes is the lack of evidence, which is very much key. Indeed, it is correct that if there is no evidence, there can't be successful prosecution. She attributed to the challenges being that some of the witnesses are afraid or scared to come and testify. I think when all her testimony or interview is considered, she stood out for me.
Yeah, so let's look at them. Are we talking about the first one, Advocate Nicolette Astrid Bell? Was that the one that was the first to be interviewed?
That is correct.
Okay,
yeah.
so that is the one that you looked at. I mean, I ask you that. Who knows? That could be the one, but we'll see how it goes. We'll talk a bit more about them. But you know, there's something about this position that we've actually never. And if history serves me correct, I mean, when we look back and we look at all of those that have served as the NDPP head, it's been very tainted. I mean, nobody's ever finished their term. We talk about Bulelani Ngcuka, Vusi Pikole, Menzi Similani, Mkolisi Nkasana, Sean Abrams, and then, of course, now Shamila Batohi. You know, it just, nobody's finished their term. There's been reasons why they've all departed and left. What is wrong with this position? What do you foresee needs to change with the person who takes over that may finally bring more stability to this position?
Thank you very much. In my honest view, the person who is to be appointed in this position must be someone who is not subscribed to any political party. It must be an independent person who is able to take decision independently, not tainted or influenced by any person, but focused on or guided by what the rule of law dictates. The second challenge is that I have noted is that, to be honest, the challenges will be a matter of lack of resources. It is not in dispute that, for an example, you will find that within the criminal justice system, there is backlog in terms of evidence of forensic nature. In that you will find that the entire country maybe is relying on Pretoria Forensic Department to assist all the police departments with evidence of forensic in nature. That drags the prosecutions, and at the end of the day, it makes the prosecutions to look very bad. And there are other challenges, such as a lack of experience or technical people who are able to deal with technical evidence. Then when you look into what will happen in the past, you will find that there are not enough budget to deal with those challenges. That, I think, might have an impact in terms of service delivery by these people who occupy these positions. And in a way, it compromises how they have to handle their job.
You said something interesting, and I think it's an important point to perhaps go a bit further on. And we look at the NDPP appointments, and I ask the question, do you think it is sufficiently insulated from executive interference? Because obviously we do know that this rests now in the hands of the president after the recommendations are made. I mean, shouldn't Parliament perhaps have a stronger role in confirming the NDPP, similar to perhaps other Chapter 9 style appointments?
Yes, I think that might assist. That might assist because we cannot run out the possibility that there might be an element of interference that maybe is evidenced by maybe the ongoing commissions, such as in respect to Mr. Mujuli.
Yeah.
That is evidence maybe when one look into the questions directed to Menzies Simelane in respect of some of the decisions that he has taken during his tenure. Then although maybe that the processes are still underway, but it gives a perception into the public that indeed it is susceptible to interference.
So I want to look a little bit more at the particular candidates. You've given the one that you feel stood out for you, but you know, I think the one that really sort of, you know, jumped out and many wondering, you know, how she may have actually, in fact, even gotten there was Advocate Andrea Johnson, IDAC Investigating Directorate. I mean, talk to us about this and in terms of her actually making it to the interview process. I mean, what did you think of that?
To be honest with you, all the candidates, they meet all the three requirements which I've mentioned at the outset.
Yeah.
Then the determining factor is the evidence to establish the proper and fitness of the candidates with regard to their experiences in the past and their integrity with regard to their experiences. Then the panel, in order to achieve the meeting of this requirement, ask a lot of questions to all the candidates with regard to their past experience in order to prove or to establish as to who is proper and fit with regard to integrity and experience. And all the candidates, what I've noted is that not a single candidate was not found with having maybe some of the challenges which can be used against them. But at the end of the day, the decision has to be made as to who stand tall amongst all the candidate. That is the long and short of my answer.
Well, I mean, and just as we wrap this up, we're about to get into our news, and one of our top stories is covering what Hermione Cronje was saying when she sat there and saying that there is a severe lack and shortage of skills in the sector. And that was very worrying because this is perhaps one of the most important positions. What did you make of what she had to say?
She was very correct. That is the biggest challenges which is faced by the National Prosecuting Authority in this country. If, to be honest, they have all the resources required, there wouldn't be any challenges which the prosecution authority is facing, because they will be able to attract all the specialized skills within the unit. And if you do have all the people with necessary skills, it will be easy to deliver the mandate of the National Prosecuting Authority. That is the biggest challenge, which now is an issue of the president to make sure that a proper budget through the ministry is allocated to the National Prosecuting Authority in order for them to deliver their mandate without any challenges.
All right, we got to leave it there, Advocate. We thank you so much for your time. I know that this is it was very short considering how intense the process was and how important it is, but we will leave it there. Thank you for speaking to us this morning, Advocate Emmanuel Netshipise. He's, of course, talking to us about the interviews of the 6 candidates who are going to succeed. Shamila Batohi, one of them, will be appointed. And, of course, as you know, Shamila Batohi retiring in January 2026.